Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. This morning, a little bit of history, a little bit of insight on how Ripple started. An interesting email exchange with David Schwartz and Jed McCaleb in the early days, actually even before David Schwartz joined Ripple officially. We are going into the weekend. I thought I'd start the video off fairly light. So David Schwartz wrote this is the first email exchange between Jed and I that led him to hiring me. So David Schwartz basically saying, I'm interested in the lead software engineer position. I currently have the highest reputation on Bitcoin's Stack Overflow site. I'm also an active participant in the Bitcoin forums and a respected member of the Bitcoin community. I've been working on a Bitcoin successor myself. After seeing what has worked well and what has not worked well, you can find my public writings on this subject at these locations, and then he posts some links here. I think I'm an exceptionally good fit because of my specialized knowledge in cryptocurrencies, writing it with a dash in between the words, and my decades of C++ development experience. Sincerely, David Schwartz. And Jed McCaleb did respond, yes, I've seen your posts on the forum. Your resume looks perfect for the job. We'd like to meet and talk with you about more. And as they say, guys, the rest is history. And that was in 2011. Of course, it has been a very long journey for Ripple and XRP. Of course, that was in 2011. And XRP was not released on the market until, I think it was 2012. This chart here has information as early as 2013, when XRP was trading at about 0.003 of a penny. The ecosystem has grown. We've seen XRP grow through bull markets. We've seen XRP maintain price stability over the years. The last bear market was obviously the test of that. XRP going down as low as about 11 cents during that beer flu black swan period when all markets shut down. Of course, XRP has seen a high of about $3.80, depending on which exchange it's been trading on. And the predictions keep coming. This from Egg Crypto here. XRP 3D secret sauce. It looks like the trend is moving in the right direction. So moving averages, he says, or MAs, allow us to predict potential trend direction before it happens. And it only draws trends from past price information. Therefore, past price information shows that the secret sauce for XRP price is when a bullish cross happens between the 50 and the 300-day moving average. So he has plotted both those moving averages on this chart here. You can see here the 50-day moving average and the 300-day moving average. And, you can see it throughout history when we've essentially bottomed out for XRP. Right before the price does spike, we can see that back in 2017 and then again here in 2021. Before we saw that inter-year high in 2021 of about $2 per coin. And guys, in 2023, we have not actually seen the cross occur yet. However, Egg Crypto here warning us, when the cross does happen, go long on XRP. So, not too much movement right now for XRP. Right now, it's trading at about 39 cents. We aren't going to see this cross occur until we see some volatility in the market. And of course, that depends on where Bitcoin is moving at that moment in time, the market sentiment, greater market activity as well. The other day we talked about the Dow Jones. We took a look at the spiders, the S&P 500. Market activity, market sentiment looking negative in general markets. However, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency price and activity has remained relatively stable. XRP still holding support here, trading in this sideways channel. And as I said, just shy of 39 cents right now. We've got Bitcoin price up here, still not moving too much. I still have the scribbles on this chart from yesterday. Bitcoin trading at about $23,900 per coin. And as you guys can see there, not too much difference since yesterday. So we're still just keeping an eye on this. Of course, we are excited to see any movement in the space. Michael Branch here posting this. So new developments on the XRP ledger. XRP sees ultra bearish prospects as developers reveal a cross-chain bridge to drive interoperability. They're saying that is coming here. Ripple X, the XRP ledger developers, have unveiled a new XRP-L standard for cross-chain bridge that would considerably expand the potential use cases for the network and the XRP token. So guys, this is the XLS38D standard proposal here. This tweet was originally tweeted out here by Emi Yoshikawa. She shared her elation about the newly published XLS38D, a standard proposal that would allow developers to create applications on the XRP ledger, ensuring network compatibility. XRP-L software engineers authored the GitHub document for the XRP-L standard, and I believe that is linked in here if you guys care to look at that. This article goes on to say interoperability is a buzzword in the crypto sphere that refers to the ability of different blockchains to communicate, share crypto assets and arbitrary information, and work together, therefore sharing economic activity. Interoperability between blockchains is considered to be a critical goal for enhancing the end user experience and fostering crypto adoption. And, even before all this development, Ripple has always said Interoperability is key. The XRP ledger needs to be interoperable with many other different blockchains that are, going to come about in the future. And if it isn't interoperable, it has to have the ability to become interoperable. So, we've been hitting that point home for years now. So it's great to see that update. It's great to see, more development on the XRPL, obviously fostered by the Ripple X initiative. So wanted to thank Michael Branch here for posting that. Also happened to see this with regards to Ripple partner Flutterwave. They've secured a payment service provider and payment facilitator license in Egypt. The new licenses enables Flutterwave to serve as a legitimate payment and service provider in Egypt, processing payments for its clients and reconcile payments both domestically and internationally. The company can also deploy its business suite of offerings, including store payment links, invoices, and checkout in the country. So Flutterwave has been one of those companies that really hit it out of the park in, I believe it was Nigeria. I believe that's the first country that they were really available in. I believe that that's where they were founded. And they've been expanding all across Africa. Now Egypt is the latest to, give this company an appropriate license to do business in that country. This makes a go-to payments partner for business within and beyond Egypt. This is an official statement here from Flutterwave. Flutterwave, one of 9 tech unicorns in Africa, has obtained this payment license. So, they do have some competition here. The new license enables Flutterwave to start serving as a legitimate service provider in Egypt, processing payments for its clients and reconcile payments both domestically and internationally. The company can also deploy its business suite of offerings, including store payment links, invoices, and checkout in the country, as I mentioned. Here's a quote, guys. We're excited to receive the payment service provider and facilitator licenses in Egypt. The licenses will enable us to be the go-to payment processor and digital transformation partner for global settlements in Egypt, which enables our customers to expand quickly within or outside of the country. This, for us, is the beginning of our strategic wins in the North African and Middle Eastern regions. So looks like they are going to be tackling new markets, namely in the Middle East, where we know Ripple and XRP adoption is already fairly prevalent, and North Africa too. So really kind of expanding, obviously, a very big need for cross-border payment services in the African region. Flutterwave obviously knows their market, and they are hitting it hard. So great news for Ripple partner Flutterwave. The Empower Oversight Committee did recently post a message to the SEC demanding answers about the Hinman speech. This was originally retweeted out. So El Diablo Dictator Know-It-All here retweeted this out from their official Twitter handle. So much pressure now on Judge Torres to release the Hinman emails in the Ripple XRP court case. She's going to have little choice. The American public have the right to see them, and the emails are not protected by law. Time for her to release the emails. So this is the official statement here from the Empower Oversight Committee released just yesterday, February 23rd, 2023. They want the unsealed Hinman docs related to the SEC crypto conflicts of interest. So, of course, this does extend to the Ripple SEC case. Here's a quote. The SEC has consistently stonewalled any attempts from public interest transparency organizations, including Empower Oversight, to shine a light on the conflicts of interest and ethical questions at the agency. The public deserves answers from the SEC as to what the agency knew about Hinman's speech and when they knew it. So that is the official quote by Jason Foster, founder and president of Empower Oversight. The tweets are as follows here, and this will link directly to that webpage on the Empower Oversight Committee's official website. So I will link all this in the description. Of course, it's not just Ripple who is hammering the SEC, the entire crypto industry, or maybe I shouldn't say the entire industry, but, I'm finding that more and more of these committees are coming on board, realizing the injustice and, demanding answers. And this is the only way we're really going to get any kind of say, I think, as to, how this moves, how government is going to decide to finally regulate. So we're hearing more voices come out, demanding answers from that Hinman speech. Considering now, and I think a lot of thanks is owed to the XRP community for uncovering what is going on with ETHgate. I have no doubt that, guys over there at Empower Oversight are realizing how deep the corruption has actually gone with certain cryptocurrency-related companies and government regulatory bodies. Here's another example right here from Documenting Ripple, retweeting out Digital Asset Buy's tweet here. Lowell, Ness, and Perkins Coy, member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, admits to working with Bill Hinman to give Ethereum a regulatory-free pass. This is a panel where they were openly discussing this, guys. Listen to this.
My playbook these days, in fact, honestly, ever since I sat across from Bill Hinman and he sort of said, we're going to accept your proposal to give some guidance here, I stopped giving guidance. I said, let's be consistent with the SEC's hand wave approach here, because that's who matters. When you get into court, like, the court's going to give deference to the regulator. Nobody wants to, I mean, I get that, I really do, and my heart is in it. I love the academic arguments about whether or not something should be a security, but I just think, honestly, to be pragmatic here, you should just treat it like security and be done with it and move on, because we all know how to do that. And so that's, to me, the path of least resistance right now until case law changes.
Ouch, damning evidence here. You guys heard that quote. Ever since I sat across from Bill Hinman and he sort of said, we're gonna accept your proposal to give some guidance here. Obviously, Bill Hinman already had his mind made up. And if you guys don't know who Lowell Ness is of Perkins Coie and that connection to the Ethereum Alliance, I believe I did a video on that probably over a year ago now. I will link that up here in the top right-hand corner. If you've been following the ETHgate story, you probably already know who he is. But super shady, super damning evidence here just to, kind of highlight and, just to go back to the Empower Oversight's motion to support the unsealing of the Hinman documents. There's reason for this, and we need to get the truth. These shady regulators need to be exposed, and the crypto industry certainly does deserve justice. And so how many ways is there to skin a cat, as they say? Asia is now leading in regulation, in crypto regulation. And so if Ripple cannot get the crypto clarity in the United States that it needs, well, it's going to start somewhere else. And hopefully these markets will be influential for the United States to now have to follow. As Brooks Entwistle says in this clip here, remember, he's the head of the MENA region. Listen to what he has to say.
In your view, does Asia have the ability to have more digital transformation policy impact than the US?
I think it's a great opportunity to lead from a regulatory standpoint. Absolutely. I think that's one of the beauties. Regulatory impact and regulatory innovation or leadership can happen anywhere. And that's where we've got to build around that. And as we talked about earlier, make sure and interact with regulators that are willing to interact with us and help that journey along the way. And so I'm a believer in cover, and I have responsibility for each of our regions around the world on the customer front. So I'm neutral from that perspective, and there's lots of great opportunities elsewhere in the world. We happen to be connecting today in Asia, and it does happen to be on the fintech and blockchain and crypto side. I think the fastest growing, most innovative place in the world.
It's almost like Brooks Entwistle, feels like he's probably one of the luckiest Ripple employees. He's got it easy, as he says, over there in Asia. Because the crypto clarity, the crypto regulatory environment is much different in Asia than it is in North America or in the United States, I guess I should specify. It really only is in the United States where we're getting, these crazy concepts of, for example, XRP, being deemed a security, or even just the question of it in court right now, still waiting to be settled. But you notice also what he says here, the fact that if Asia leads, the US might in fact have to follow regulatory guidance. I mean, if they come up with a framework that works, and I mean, this is happening at such a fast pace too, that, when they say that you don't want to be left behind, obviously the United States should be the trailblazers. They should be the ones leading the pack, as they have with many other industries in the past. However, it's just not looking like it is moving in that direction. The United States will obviously craft out their guidance, but maybe it will be influenced by guidance from other parts of the world like Asia, as Brooks Entwistle here does suggest. So an interesting clip here from Riz XRP. Wanted to thank him for posting that. Gonna keep moving, guys, because Bobby A posted this. The agenda is becoming clearer and clearer. Is the SEC driving a secret agenda to help BlackRock and other industry giants enter the industry? Now, this article was just published a few days ago. And so with regard to the SEC and their newly unveiled rule change to asset custody that was just announced earlier this month, the regulator under leadership of Gary Gensler published a 434-page rule change that will enforce custody providers to provide evidence that customers' funds are adequately segregated and thus protected from insolvency. Now, this is a bigger play for the financial system as a whole. However, as this article does note, it does specifically focus on cryptocurrencies, and I think crypto, since it is an emerging asset class, and since there are no rules yet, ironically due to the government's own missteps and mismanagement of the whole situation, well, now they're coming in with a 434-page rule change. While the rule change is designed for the entirety of the financial ecosystem, it also uniquely is suited for the crypto ecosystem. According to Bloomberg, the rule change will benefit mainstream companies with a vested interest in the nascent crypto ecosystem, much more. This positioning was also backed by prominent Ripple advocate and crypto attorney John Deaton. Though the proposed rule change is subject to changes following a short period of consultation from the public, many are already positing that the regulator may have an agenda to support top financial services firms already making a dive into the crypto ecosystem. And some of those firms include Fidelity, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and Citigroup, among others. They're already exploring new avenues to offer custody services. So, a lot of this is to, allow, obviously, the institutional grade legacy companies, allow them a head start to get this sorted out. And so, just to kind of reiterate this point, government, or rather the SEC, is doing everything in their power to, change the rules and kind of craft them and kind of, discuss stable coins over here and kind of go after exchanges over there without giving XRP any clarity. And, I think I can speak on behalf of most of the XRP community when I say I think we're pretty tired with this charade. Get a move on. Obviously, though, it seems as though they are continuously postponing and dragging out this lawsuit until more rules are set in place, more solidified rules, in order to give the incumbents a leg up. And I don't know if Trump is going to be running again in 2024. There have also been rumors about that. I started my channel in June of 2018, and why that is significant is because this happened in May of 2018, so a month before I started my channel. I don't think I've reported on this. I feel like it's pretty old news, but it has got me thinking now, okay? On May 8th, 2018, ex-Goldman Sachs and ex-Trump advisor Gary Cohn said, "The world will have a global cryptocurrency, but it won't be Bitcoin." Let me expand on that, okay? He says one that's not based on mining costs or the cost of electricity. So let's go back in time a little bit here. So this was from August of 2020. I do remember this piece of news. Records revealed that Ripple CEO, or Brad Garlinghouse, did meet with senior Trump administration officials in 2018. Was XRP on the agenda? And I remember we were all speculating about that. And so back in May of 2018, was this point here made by Gary Cohn. Now, let me read you guys a little bit of this. From CNBC News back in 2018, former Goldman Sachs president Gary Cohn said Tuesday that he thinks the world will have a global cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin. A quote here, "I'm not a big believer in Bitcoin. I'm a believer in blockchain technology," Cohn told CNBC. "I do think we will have a global cryptocurrency at some point where the world understands it and it's not based on mining costs. That checks the boxes, or cost of electricity, or things like that." Cohen resigned in early March from his role as chief economic advisor to the Trump administration. Bitcoin is created through an energy-intensive mining process, so it kind of describes what Bitcoin is here. Let me just move down here. Cohen expects the digital coin of the future will be simpler than Bitcoin. Again, checking the box right beside XRP. Another quote, "It will be a more easily understood cryptocurrency. It will probably have some blockchain technology behind it, but it will be much more easily understood how it's created, how it moves, and how people can use it." So, if that does not scream XRP, I don't know what does. On top of that, of course, we did have this meeting, Ripple executives in the White House in 2018, and that was discovered 2 years later in 2020. Not to mention this, guys, and I wanted to bring up this report from Ripple's Insights blog here, Goldman Sachs, Blockchain Billions, guys, from back in 2016. So Ripple was already writing about Goldman Sachs back then, and I wanted to just focus on this point here. There was an 88-page report that focuses on 3 main benefits of using distributed ledger technology. So Goldman was already pro DLT back in 2016, so even before all this was occurring, and Ripple was mentioning this on their Insights blog. So, down here they highlight some of those attributes, enabling secure and decentralized payments through multiple parties of the Internet of Things, so that can become a reality, reducing fraud caused by human involvement or record alteration, and making multi-party transactions more efficient and transparent. I will link this in the description, guys, because this is all very, very interesting when you connect Gary Cohn's comments and connect the dates. It all seems like it is lining up. And guys, here is a clip of Gary Cohn. Listen to this.
Talk about blockchain, and we can come back and talk about the infrastructure. That's the highways and the pipes that are necessary for Bitcoin, but they're necessary for many other applications. And I think they're very useful, and I'm very bullish on them. When you talk about Bitcoin in itself, I don't have a strong opinion on Bitcoin. In essence, I'm not a strong believer in Bitcoin. It is,
Really?
it is a developing asset, potentially. And for all the reasons it's a strong developing asset class, it may fail. Remember, part of the integrity of an asset class, or part of the integrity of a system, is knowing who owns it and knowing who has it and knowing why it's being transferred. And is it being used for legitimate causes? Is it being used for good? Or is it being used for illegitimate causes? Is it being used in corrupt practices and corrupt ways? The Bitcoin system today has no transparency to it. So there are a lot of people that question, why would you need a system that does not have an audit trail, does not have integrity? You don't know who owns it. You don't know exactly how much exists today, how much has been mined, how much has been lost, how much has been thrown away on hard drives because they don't exist anymore. So it lacks some of the basic integrities of a real market. And then you have to get into the idea or the concept that it's a theoretical value. It's a theoretical value, and there's a lot of other things that have this. It's a theoretical value because someone is willing to buy it or someone is willing to sell it at that price today. But there's nothing tangible behind it. At least when you buy an ounce of gold, you can deliver an ounce of gold to someone.
So obviously Gary Cohn not interested in Bitcoin. He did in fact say though that there is something that could be more simple, a cryptocurrency that would be a global cryptocurrency, not saying it's a world reserve currency, but a currency that the world would use. Not to mention, he was a former exec at Goldman Sachs, and so I thought this was also appropriate to bring up that Goldman Sachs paper that was published, I think, back in 2021, November of 2021. This report, courtesy of Bank XRP here, The Opportunities in Payments, highlighting Circle, Ripple, and Coinbase. And since the world, including BRICS countries, are looking to move away from a USD global reserve currency, I don't think Cohen would be talking about USDC. Maybe it's just wishful thinking on my part. I don't know though, things are seeming very promising. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.